Plugins. I really love using plugins in my design projects because it not only speeds up my design process, but it's collectively saving us designers hundreds of hours of redundant work for the same design that's already been put out there. So in this video, I'm going to show you the top 10 plugins in Adobe XD. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the top 10 plugins in Adobe XD. Now remember, this is based on my experience. You could find other plugins that might be useful for your project, but these are the top 10 that I found for my projects specifically. And I think you'll find a lot of them useful for your projects as well. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Before getting into the very first one, I'm going to just go over how you can install plugins in case you're new to XD. So I have here a project opened up that I have on XD where we learn how to design mobile and web apps like this one. The link for the course is down in the comments below if you want to check it out. Essentially, in this project, we put together this mockup and we use some plugins to put it together. And if you don't know how to install plugins, no worries at all. Depending on which page you're currently on or which panel you have opened up on the left side over here, go down to this plugin tab over here and then go ahead and click on this plus icon over here. And that should open up this little window where you can go ahead and search plugins or browse plugins from here. And if you click on any plugin, you can go ahead and see some of the photos for it and see how that works, read the info or the instructions, and even see what versions is out for it and view the ratings as well. Now, when you're ready to get started with a plugin or install it, you can go ahead and simply press the get button over here and that should install it for you. Now, depending on the size of the plugin, it might take a little bit longer for it to install. So just give it some time and it should automatically then show up on your plugins in the project that you have opened up. So if you don't have a project open up, make sure you have one open up so you can follow along. So let's jump right into the top 10 plugins for XD. In no particular order, the first one is Unsplash. So Unsplash allows you to insert beautiful images that are free to use into your projects. So I've already installed it. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to use it. So to use Unsplash, go ahead and draw a rectangle on your project. So I have the rectangle tool selected and I just drew a rectangle. Go ahead, make sure it's selected and then open up Unsplash where you can browse thousands upon thousands of images, and you can click on any of them that you want to use, which will go ahead and paste it right in there, or you can search for a specific one, which for our project we're working on a food delivery app here, so I'm going to search food and use one of these images here. The amazing part is that these images are free to use, courtesy of unsplash.com. Moving on to the second plugin, Iconscout. Now, once you do install Iconscout, you may need to go ahead and create an account here if you don't already have it. Once you've created an account, you're logged into Adobe XD's plugin as well. So you can head on back to your project where you can go ahead and browse thousands of icons that you can use for your projects, and these are amazing icons. This is an example. Let's say I want to show which restaurant here in my app is a hot one. Go ahead and click on this fire icon over here. Click on insert. And now it's in my clipboard, which I'm going to go ahead and paste into this artboard over here and add it to my project. And you can go ahead and even tweak the color and pick a nice orange color here. Cool. So yeah, so that's Iconscout for you. You can go ahead and search for certain icons. So do a profile icon, I can go ahead and search for that. They even have illustrations and some 3D stuff that you can use. So go ahead and take a look at that and see what works for your project. Plugin number 3, the Google Sheets sync. Now this one is a really useful plugin if you have a lot of data that you're working with. Now I've used this plugin to generate this order history page. So essentially I have this Google Sheet over here with all the sample data that I need. And then when I switch back over to my XD, now with the Google Sheets plugin, you can go ahead and select the source for your file. So you can go ahead and click on paste URL link or Google Sheets. So we're going to go with paste URL link, and I'm going to copy that link from that Google Sheet that we were just looking at. And once you do insert that over there and import it, once you're done importing, it will ask you what you want to map each of these columns to. So you can go ahead and select each of the items on the left panel side over here to assign it to the correct column or the data from the correct column. So once you do select everything, like for example, the dollar sign should be the total price. This one item will be the number of items that the order has. So we're going to select items. For this date, we're going to choose the date for the order. And for this image restaurant placeholder, we're going to go ahead and select the image restaurant image here. Once we do apply it, as you can see, just like magic, it will go ahead and input all those data, sample data into your project. And it might take a second to do that, but once it does it, it looks like magic, which is amazing. Now imagine if you had dozens of items. Here we only have 5 things, but if you have dozens of items and rows, this will speed up your design process a lot. And you can change the Google Sheet at any point and it will be updated once you do import the new Google Sheet. Plugin number 4, Quick Mockup. Now this Quick Mockup plugin, we're going to go ahead and open it up over here. Now this Quick Mockup plugin allows you to input elements for a mockup into your project. So if you're working on a new project or you're just starting one, first it will ask you to choose a theme. So let's just select this foundation theme over here. And then based on that, it will give you a lot of the shared elements between a lot of the UI elements, such as buttons. So you can click on a button and it will go ahead and input this button for you. You can go ahead and set the style, the state, whether it's active, hover, disabled, and such, the size of the button, and whether it has an icon or it's a label and an icon, and so on. And you can do that with a lot of the other elements that they give you access to. They give you some assets from illustrations you can use, pictures, some charts even. And they even have some templates that you can use. So if you're working on, let's say, a contact us section, you can go ahead and input this one over here and just use this to come up with your contact us page, as opposed to designing it from scratch. So if you're working on a mockup, this is a good plugin to check out. See if it serves your need for your UI design. Awesome. Plugin number 5. Speaking of charts, this plugin is great for inputting some charts into your project. It's called Vizzy Charts, like so. And essentially it will ask you to draw a rectangle where you want to insert a chart into your project. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and select a column chart. Now it will ask you to import some CSV data in here for your data. So this little sample data CSV that I'm going to go ahead and open up. Now this is the CSV we're looking at here. It just has 3 lines for the chart. You can go ahead and create the chart over here. And then whether you want a column chart, just undo that. You want a line chart, or you want a ring chart. You can do that all with this Vizzy Charts plugin. Cool. Plugin number 6, Lottie Files. Now, if you love animations in your mockups, you're going to love this plugin. Here's how it works. To install Lottie Files, you will need to sign up to use it. So go ahead and take a second to follow the login over here. But once you've done it, you can go ahead and essentially input some animations into your projects, and I'll show you how. For example, for my phone verification page here, I can go ahead and search for a phone. Let's say over here, animation over here. And let's say I like this animation here. I can go ahead and click on it and insert it as a Lottie animation in my file. I can go ahead and hold shift and just make that smaller so it fits my project. And then when you do go to desktop preview, as you can see, that little animation will now play and now it will stop. So if you do want to loop it, you will have to go ahead and select it and then do loop or turn on the loop. And let's just go ahead and open that one more time. And so now that animation will keep on looping, which is super awesome. You can use this throughout your designs, and I think it looks super cool and really adds a little touch to your UI projects. So that's Lottie Files for us. Coming in at number 7, we got Color Spark. So Color Spark over here allows us to simply input a gradient or a color into our project. So we can go ahead and let's say we want to create a rectangle or background for something. We can go ahead and select the rectangle or the object that we're working with here, generate a random color. So this will help us generate some random colors if we're trying to decide what color to use for our project. And also my favorite part over here is the gradient part. You can go ahead and browse random gradients for your project. And you can keep on clicking until it generates that gradient that looks good for your project. And then once you're satisfied with the gradient, you can go use that in your project. So if you need some inspiration for coming up with some colors or gradients, Color Spark is your best bet. Number 8, Blobular. Now, if like me, you like inserting blobs into your projects, this plugin is for you. Now, once Blobular is installed, I know it has a funny name, but once you do have it installed, you can essentially create some blobs for your project. So we have this one over here that you can go ahead and insert or create color from here. Although you can set this after you actually insert it into your project as well. You can choose how complex you want your blob to be, or how unique, or I guess ununique / simple you want it to be. You can create the blob and then it will go ahead and insert it into your project. So you can go ahead and use this wherever you want. So let's say I just want this blob in the background over here. You can go ahead and insert it, and I can go ahead and tweak the fill from here as well. And then go ahead and move it to where I want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. And plugin number 9 is a very handy one if you're working with clients and you want to keep track of how much time you're spending on the project. So if I switch back to my plugins tab here, go to Chrono. Once you do install Chrono, essentially it's a chronometer that keeps track of how much time you're spending on the project. So you can go ahead and create a new task. Let's call this task working on login page. You can give it a color if you want. I can go ahead and click start, work on my project, and keep track of how much time I'm spending on this project. Especially if you're billing by the hour, this is a good way to keep track of how much time you're actually spending on what. You can go ahead and pause it from here, and I can see exactly how much time you spent on this project so far and on what. I can go ahead and even download your time card here as a CSV. Now, last but not least, is by far, in my opinion, one of the coolest plugins out there. Now, although it's not necessarily a plugin, it's more of a software that's integrated with Adobe XD's plugin, but I'll show you how it works. It's great for showcasing your project on an actual mobile device or a desktop device if you're working on a desktop or a web app. So essentially, let's say I want to showcase this restaurant page over here on an actual device. Now I can go ahead and, of course, download an iPhone Mockup and insert that into the iPhone Mockup. But even cooler is this plugin called Rotato. I don't know if it's exactly called Rotato, but you can go ahead and install it. But once you do install it, you have to head on over to rotato.xyz. So I've gone ahead and open it up. Go ahead and download it. It's free to use. Once you do download it to your machine, go ahead and open it up, and you may need to create an account. Once you've done so, I'm going to go ahead and open up Rotato, and let's go ahead and choose an iPhone device. So we're going to pick an iPhone 12 Pro, and it will open this project for us where we can go ahead and showcase our iPhone app in not only an image, so we can go ahead and export this as an image once we've inserted our screen here, but also as a cool video, which is awesome. You can even go ahead and tweak your device color, your background, and so on and so forth. Now, it will come with this little label here. So if you do want to buy the Pro version, you can go ahead and remove that from there if you do want to actually use this for a client or a project. But here's how the plugin actually works. Once you do install the plugin, you can simply go ahead and select that artboard that you want to load it onto the iPhone, and then go ahead and click on Send to Rotato. And once you click on that, check it out. Rotato will go ahead and insert that into your project. And now I got my mockup here showing exactly what my app screen will look like on an iPhone. You can go ahead and tweak the animation from here as well, which is super cool. Once you like your render here, you can go ahead and click on Render Movie, and it will go ahead and export it in your destination that you want. And once it's done, you can go ahead and actually browse that mockup video over here, which is super cool. Now, if you decide, oh, I want another page on my mockup, well, you can simply go ahead and click on another page, let's say the phone verification page, and then go ahead and send it to Rotato. And then go ahead and now see that over there. Cool. This is awesome. Now, with that said, that wraps up our top 10 plugins in Adobe XD. Now, if you do have some other plugins that you use, please leave it in the comments below so other people can learn more about it and tell us how useful it is. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and please do subscribe so it supports the channel and I can bring you more videos like this one. Now if you do want to learn Adobe XD as a beginner or as an expert, I do have a full 8.5-hour course on it available where we complete 2 full design projects and learn the A to Z of Adobe XD. So if you'd like to check that out, the link will be in the comments below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.